everyone's having a good morning. I appreciate for those of you that came on time this morning. Because our models have somewhere to go, we're going to start on time. And so for those that are going to come in later, I'm sorry, but you're probably going to hear me repeat myself quite a few times. For those of you that are going to be, for those that are coming in later. So since we're going to get started on the model, then we'll start our class right now. So once again, thanks for coming today. What we're going to be talking about is our APS system, which stands for Advanced Professional Services. This class was designed for you to be able to see how you're able to use our Advanced Professional Services system inside whatever chemical service that you're doing. It's made to enhance what you're already doing. So this isn't something where it's taking any extra steps. When you're working with your colors, your perms, your bleaches, it's only made to help you take your services really to the next level. So for what we're starting with a bleach model right now. What APS is designed to do for bleach is it's designed to help keep your client from over-processing. So we're not saying that with someone with compromised hair, you can use 50 volume and not expect that their hair to be compromised. But what this is designed to do is it's going to help feed in proteins and help strengthen those bonds inside the hair as you're working. So with APS, it is a hair strengthening service. This is something that you add in right into your bowl. So when Nicole's working right now, we're adding it right into her bleach mixture. And it's going to help to strengthen the disulfide bonds that get broken down in processes. We all know that our bonds get broken down whenever we're doing any type of chemical service. So what this is going to be doing is it's going to help to strengthen her hair as we're working. It's going to feed in proteins as she's working. So you're going to get better results. It's going to help even out the hair. So with our model, for those of you that can't see, she has a band of brassiness to where it didn't get completely processed correctly the first time that she had gotten her hair done for regrowth from the last time. So we're going to be able to overlap that as well. So it helps you to not be as afraid. Almost think of it like an insurance policy for your hair. If someone comes to you that needs a color correction done, or someone like our model that has really, really blonde hair, and maybe normally you're nervous about doing bleach on somebody, you're worried about it being over-processed, APS helps you to get to that next level without having to worry so much about over-processing someone's hair, because you're keeping it healthy as you're working. And that's what's exciting about using it with that. Before you start our friend, we have to take before pictures. I always forget.
You and me.
So APS number 1 and number 2 is very, very simple to use. This is all that's in your kit when you're using it. Your number 1 is called your bond amplifier. The reason we call it a bond amplifier is because, like I said, this is what's going to be feeding in the proteins into the hair. This is your key right here. The bond amplifier is made up of mainly vegan soy proteins. So this is 100% vegan product that we're using. It's made to go in, restructure the hair. It's also made to fill in those gaps where your hair is lacking protein. So maybe before, if you would ever see using with a bleach or even with a color, you would get maybe spotty results on the hair. Some parts of the hair would take better than other parts of the hair. Using the number 1 is what's going to help you to get those even results that you're looking for. It's almost like when you're looking at a road that's full of potholes. What this is designed to do is it's putting protein back in the hair to fill in those potholes, to fill in those gaps, to where you're working on an even surface. So that's what it's designed to do when it comes to colors, perms, or bleaches. What it's also designed to do is when you're using it with colors, it has ingredients that are called color fixatives, and the technical term for that is color mordants. And what those are designed to do is they're actually going to almost like create claws for your color molecules, and it helps for them to attach on to the cuticle more and to help give you longer lasting color, and also gives you more vivid results when you're using it as well, which is great. So it helps your color molecules to be able to travel into that hair shaft quicker instead of just sitting on top to where you get a lot of color fading faster. This is going to help you not have that color fading. So with our second model that's right here in the front row, she has a lot of gray that we're going to be covering, so we're going to be showing how using the number 1 is going to help a lot with gray coverage as well. It's really simple to use. Like I said, when you're using this, you're just going to add it into your color bowl. It comes with a little measuring cup right here. When you're using it with a bleach, from 1.5 ounces of bleach and up, you're going to use about anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 ounce from your little measuring cup. So we usually use about a quarter, which is that second line, which makes it really, really simple. You don't use that much of it. And remember, you're just adding in protein. So even though it looks like a water, this is not going to be diluting anything. So it's only enhancing what you're already doing, which is nice. So there's no extra steps involved other than adding a product that's into what you're already doing, which is great. So this is going to help open up your cuticle and feed in those proteins. The pH on the number 1 bond amplifier is between 6 and 7. So it's something that's going to help open up the cuticle when we start doing the process. For me, I always recommend clarifying the hair first. For time constraints, we just make sure the models come with clean, dry hair. But for me, I like using a higher pH shampoo also, because then you know you're going to get rid of any types of barriers that's on the hair. And it also starts prepping the hair by opening up that cuticle. And then you can use the number 1 for that. So when we're doing a color, we're also going to be using our number 1 bond amplifier, and we're going to be going up to that very first line, which is 1/8 of an ounce. So you're not going to be using that much at all when we're doing it as well. It also, you'll notice too, with her bleach mixture, it's not going to cause any type of runniness as well. It doesn't make her mixture, to the point where you start adding in more bleach and more developer because you added in the number 1. You also don't have to bump up your developer, which is nice as well. So when you're working with bleaches like this, we're not going to be having to bump up because it's not slowing down the process. These products are made to help accelerate the process. So they're taking what you do, and like we said, we're taking it to the next level. So with your bleaches, if normally it takes you maybe a half hour or 40 minutes, depending on the person's resistancy, when using products like this, it's gonna take it to where it's not gonna take as long to do the hair. So we always recommend when doing a bleach to make sure that you watch the hair, maybe more so than what you used to, because it's gonna help accelerate the process. What's nice about it though is that it's not going to accelerate it to the point of while we're processing. That's not what it's designed to do. It just helps you to get where you need to go a little bit quicker. Same when you're doing a color. When you're working with this with color, it also helps to accelerate the process. So when you'll watch our color model, when we're working on her, you'll notice that the color looks like it's oxidizing quicker in the bowl, which it is. But what it's doing is that it's helping to accelerate it, and like we said, we're driving in more of those color molecules into the hair. That's why the color is more long lasting. So you have to still stick with manufacturer's directions when working with the product. We're not changing that, we're just changing with how how well it takes afterwards. Your clients will notice the difference. You'll notice the difference. You're going to get more longer lasting color. It's going to be more brighter, more vivid than it was before. So your client will notice, which I think is going to give you obviously better client retention, and then you're also going to get more clients from something like this as well. What's nice is that for the products that we have, these products aren't anything that is going to be so over expensive to where you feel like you need to upcharge your clients when doing this if you don't feel comfortable with it. For me, I like to add this in, I think, for a client, and you can view it as more of an experience. You could have them come in and you could tell them what they're going to be receiving this time. You can tell them, I'm adding something new into your service. I'm going to be adding protein. When we do a color, I call it a protein color enhancement rather than just a single process color. And if you say something like that, they're automatically going to think, oh, what am I getting this time? And they will see a difference with how their color takes and how long it lasts. For your bleaching, you can now call it a protein decolorizer. That's what we call our bleaches. So you want to add in so that they know they're getting that protein in there, because like I said, it does make a difference for how their hair turns out. So it's up to you on whether you'd want to upcharge or not. Like I said though, it's not necessarily necessary, because your cost for doing this per application is going to be about $1.25. So it's half the cost of one of our biggest competitors, which is nice. So for you guys, even if you were to upcharge somebody $3 or $5, maybe something where they didn't even really would notice, you're still doubling what you've already made. But it's great because, like I said, you're going to get client retention, and you're going to get clients from your clients, because they're going to love their hair, and they're going to go and they're going to tell their friends about it and tell them what they received. When you're using a product like this, also what's nice is that even though it is for chemical services, obviously that's what we're focusing on, you can also use it as a reconstructing treatment. You can use your number 1 bond amplifier, and you add it in about 3 ounces of water. It's about a half a measuring cup to 3 ounces of water. You can put it in a tin bottle, and you can add this onto somebody's hair either in between services if they're a double process, or even if for after the service, you can use it as a reconstructing treatment and do it that way. Because remember, this is protein, so we're just adding that in and filling in those gaps in their hair. And you can use it as that as well. When using it with a perm, you actually would add it right into the activator. What it's going to do for a perm is it's evening out that porosity, so they're going to end up with softer curls. Their hair is going to be able to take more evenly. So if you ever have a problem with perms to where the ends seem a little bit limp, they don't take as well as the rest of the hair or maybe towards the root area, this is going to help it take evenly. You give an even result. When you're using it in conjunction with a number 2, that number 2 is a low acidic conditioner. So when you're using it after a neutralizer, what it's going to do is it's going to help stop the oxidation, but it's also going to stop the smell that you get from a perm as well, which is great. That's what I like. That's what pretty much everybody likes.
It doesn't smell that strong.
Yeah, exactly.
I tried it.
It cuts it, which is nice. So the number 2, like I said, is a low acid conditioner, and this is what you're going to be ending with the system when you're using it. No matter whether you want to give them a protein treatment in between, whatever it is that you're doing, this always needs to be the last step in the system because this is what's stopping the oxidation process. If you were to do a bleach like this and you were going to take them back to the shampoo bowl, you shampoo them and condition like normal, even with a pH balanced shampoo and conditioner, which is 4.5 to 5.5, their bleaches can still be oxidizing because that's not enough to close down their cuticle, and that's what you want to do. That's how a lot of times people that have blonde hair, it's usually dry and brittle, because we haven't stopped that oxidation process and it can continue going once they've left the salon. So we don't want that to happen. So when using the number 2, the pH of this is between 2 and 3. So it's a very low pH. It's going to close and shut down that cuticle, and it's going to stop oxidation to where it's going to keep that hair realigning the cuticle that we had, and it's going to keep that hair healthy and conditioned. The conditioner, the feel that you get after this is amazing. It acts almost like a detangler too, for those of you that haven't tried it yet. And like we said, for perms, it's going to stop oxidation. It's going to stop that smell from the neutralizer. And for color, it's going to help to keep that color long lasting. And like we said, it's going to realign that cuticle. So it's going to stop that from oxidation. It's shutting down that cuticle. It's shutting down the process. And that's what we want to do after any chemical service. So it's amazing before and after. I even recommend, I like using this for clients to even take home, to be able to sell it for clients to take home, because if they use that in the shower every day, when you think about it, think of the usually like for water, at least where I'm at, it's very alkaline. I know every area is different, but it's either very alkaline, it might be very acidic, who knows. But for me, my water is very alkaline. So I actually like to use that number 2 as a take-home product for somebody to use, because either if they have blonde hair, or if they have reds, coppers, any of those bright, vivid colors, a lot of times, as everyone's noticed, as soon as they go home and they wash their hair a couple times, they can see a lot of fading. And it's usually just because of the water. You know, it's nothing, even if they use a pH balanced shampoo. So you'll notice a very big difference when using the number 2 for that very reason, which is something that I always recommend. And our model already she has healthy blonde hair, which is great, so you can see that on her hair. But the number 2 I always recommend to use for home also. Because like I said, you never know what's in the water that we use. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Anita, you had any experience already?
Mm-hmm.
You used already?
Sí.
How was your experience?
A mí me trabajó, bueno, lo hice con como un nivel natural, como un 5.
They use number 5, you see what you say?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say they use number 5?
I'm used with natural level like a 5,
Mm-hmm.
and I get very nice lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing, the good thing that you pointed that out also. When you're working with this with a color, it's not going to cause your colors to go darker, if that's something that you're concerned with. That's what it's not designed to do. Like I said, it's not causing overprocessing, it's not causing an over-acceleration to where you feel like you need to take your color off sooner. You don't want to do that. You want to stick with directions. So, but what it's doing, like I said, is it's just going to give you more enhanced results. It's just going to make your colors be more longer lasting and give richer results.
And she's using the 40 volume.
Are you using for the, yeah.
Oh yeah, you need it with her to get her hair as pale as she needs it. I mean, she's a natural level 2, so we need that 40 to lift
My hair,
Dark.
my natural
Right.
hair color is the same as hers.
Yes.
So when I saw hers, I was like, yeah, we should probably use 40.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
last week Kim and I went into a salon, and she was so excited because she's like, I was just on my way to go buy 50 volume. Now I have this. I don't need to use 50 volume because with our competitor's product, that's what she has to do
Okay.
to get the lift. She has to use 50 volume. So she was really excited that we went in and dropped off some samples to her to try.
And the 40 volume is gonna lift even though you're a Latin, the Spanish, the Latin people.
Yeah, it should. But the thing
Very
is, you have to
dark hair.
understand, regardless of your ethnicity, you have to understand the hair's composition.
Yes.
So whatever is under there, whatever is underlying, you have to work with that. So
Okay.
that's why with your clients, you never want to overpromise that you can get them somewhere without doing a test strand or discussing that.
Oh yeah.
It's just the way it is. It's hard. I work with a lot of Latina hair. I'm able to get them blonde, but they never want to be blonde, all over. They just want blonde highlights. So, and I never have a problem lifting. Ever.
And for the highlights, you use the 40?
I never use 40 volume.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing 40 volume with her because she wants this
So
pill.
the Latin, yeah.
I use 20, 25. Very rarely do I use 30 volume.
Okay.
Yeah, very rarely.
I use a lot. For me, I use a lot of 30.
Mm.
And since switching over to the Mia line, I'll use 40 now without having to worry so much. But the product in itself, APS, is definitely your insurance policy.
Mhm.
Like neither of us will do color or anything like that anymore without having it. We've had this technology, the APS, we've had this technology since the 80s. We've had it for that long. I've been with the company for 10 years. She's been with the company for 9 years. And so both of us have used this product for that long. So I don't even know what it's like anymore really to do color without it. When I started doing the Mia classes, then I wouldn't use it because we were focusing just on Mia and the color and what it could do by itself. But, and even though it worked amazing, I still knew that I always wanted to add my APS in it because I knew no matter what the color would be, it would always be more enhanced when you're using APS. Always. So especially, and same thing with bleaches as well. For those of you that have ever heard of any of our competitors, what makes APS different is that it works from the inside out. So this isn't a coater. We're not using any types of silicones in this. We're not using anything that's going to coat the hair. Because once you coat the hair, it works at first, maybe as a buffer, but then after a couple washes on that hair, that coating is gone afterwards.
Yes.
And then what are you left with? You're left with dried out hair. So with ours, we're working from the inside out, and that's really important for us to make sure we point out because those proteins are made to go inside. They're not sitting on top of the hair shaft. They're made to go inside, reconstruct, help build and strengthen those bonds, and so much more. The hair isn't only made up of disulfide bonds. There's so much more to hair that you also need to help protect and to keep strong. And that's what the system is designed to do. So it's not just the sulfide bonds that we're strengthening here. We're strengthening the whole hair shaft as we work. That's where we're able to say you're always going to get better results. This isn't just about protecting the hair and making sure that your hair doesn't snap off, but this is about giving better results. So when it comes to color, giving better color results than what you're used to having. And that's what's exciting about it. So with some people that use our different competitions that maybe we have that say are more expensive, since we're actually one of the few, not least or expensive, it's not a word, but less expensive products, a lot of people are so used to only using a product just for bleach. Just to protect bleach clients and just to protect color correction clients. They have no idea that when you're using our product, we do so much more. So don't just use it for your bleach clients. Don't just use it for a color correction. You need to use it and experience it with everything that you do that's a chemical process. If you do any perms, if you do any sodium hydroxides, any color, you have to try it out. You have to experience using this product with your colors as well so that you can really see what it's going to do for your color and how much better your colors are going to turn out, not just your bleaches. So I always point that out because a lot of people think it's just made for bleach clients, and it's not. It's not, but it is great for bleaches. And I mean, we're in California or in the US in general, everybody wants to go fast. We want our results, we want it fast. Our clients want to be lifted to the level that they want. They don't want to wait. So our product is going to help get you there. It's going to help get you the results that you want quicker and keeping your hair intact. Whereas before, maybe you might have worried about over-processing, especially for the clients that want to go really dark, that want to go really light, really quickly. So it is more of a process, but like I said, some products slow you down. This one is just going to help accelerate. That's what it's designed to do. Are there any questions so far? It's pretty simple and straightforward, huh? I think so. So with our process, when Nicole added this, like we said, she's using a 40 volume. We are using the Mia line that we sell and distribute for. Most of you have come to those classes before. So they have an ammonia-free bleach, a blue bleach that we use. It's called Fast Deco. They have a white bleach and they have a blue bleach. Both of them are ammonia-free. But of course, like I said, all of us want to go fast, fast, fast. And so for our classes also, we want to make sure we get our model done on time. So we always use our Fast Deco. So it's ammonia-free. It's already conditioning on the hair, which is nice as well. And then we're using our 40 volume. How many use 40 volume already on their plans? Is there anyone that uses 40, or are you mainly 30 or 25? 30? Do you use 40? 40? Yeah? I know some people that use 50. So for the gutsy ones, they use 50, and I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I know that a lot of people use 50 for like balayage, and that I can see because it's open air. But 50 with foil, that would just scare the heck out of me. But either way, from everyone around this country that has started to use the APS and has been extremely impressed with it, these are people that are also very gutsy. I consider myself in between safe and gutsy. I'm not so safe to where I refuse to use like a 30 volume or anything like that, but I'm not so gutsy as where I'm not that person that'll put 40 volume under the dryer or 50 volume. And there's a lot of people that do that. But everyone has said with the APS, it's made them be able to feel more confident in what they're doing, more confident that the hair is going to stay intact, and get them to the level that they want to achieve quicker. So that's what's nice about with APS. This is something that has caught on not only through the United States but also into Europe. We're now in Europe as well with these products too. Like I said, there's, growing by the number, there's always going to be a ton of competition, and it's getting bigger every day. But you really have to look to see what the ingredients are to see how it's working. As far as I know, there's really only one other competitor that works from the inside out. Most other competitors are have just coating properties that they're putting on the hair. But what's nice is that with us compared to our one competitor that we have, we're half the price, which is nice. So for those of you that didn't come earlier, I was talking about the price that we have, and for ours, it's about $1.25 per application. So whether you want to upcharge your client or not, that's up to you. For the reconstructing treatment that you're able to do with this product, that is something that you could also upcharge your client as well, to reconstruct their hair in between. Nicole and I have done a lot of different types of bleaching clients with this product to see what we can do and how we can push the envelope when using it. For color correction, how many use how many use like the box color correctors when doing a color correction? Like the ones that you put on the hair that's used like a thio base. Does anyone use those?
Like Eliminate or Modulate?
Yeah. Or like, what is the other one? Is it Oops? There's one called Oops.
I've never heard of that.
We use it in the school all the time. So I used to use those types of box color correctors also, and honestly they scared me because I used it one time, and when I used it, it would work so fast that you had to really be on top of it and go extremely quick throughout the hair. And then the problem is that once you lightened it, say you wanted to put like a level 8, which is a medium blonde, back on the person's hair, and the cuticle would be so open and exposed that then it would suck it back down to a level 2. So the hair would end up being so much lower than what you want to do, and then you start all over again. That's what I had to do. That was my experience. So when we had this product, Nicole and I wanted to play around with it and see what we could do when using it with color correction also. Since color correction for us, that's a huge part of our industry. I'd say 99% of your first clients are a color correction, right? I would say that. That was my experience. It's probably Nicole's experience, I'm sure. Or you have somebody that gets their hair done, which Nicole's experience, you do their hair and then they go somewhere else because they want to try to get it done cheaper somewhere else. They get it messed up and then they come back to you and they say, look what they did to my hair, can you fix it, right?
Pay double.
Then it's a color correction and that's even more money. But using this product in conjunction with one of our other clarifying shampoos, which I always bring those because I like to show it. Hold on, let me get it out. Which is something I always like to show in our classes. We never have time to do a full color correction when doing classes like this. but I do like to talk about it because I feel like this is a tool that every stylist could really appreciate when using it with their products. What I do is we do what's technically known as a bleach wash. So a bleach wash is really when you're adding in a bleach along with a shampoo. I'm going to use this for a second. Can I use this for a second? Are you done? Okay. This is an empty bowl right here.
If you want coffee, this coffee here. If you want somebody has coffee, si tienen café, aquí hay café también.
Okay, gracias.
So when doing a color correction, what we do is we call this a protein decolorizing treatment, and that's what we call it. Instead of saying it's a bleach wash, or talking about color correction with them. But if they come to you and you know this is going to be a double process, this is going to take you a little bit of time, then I talk to them about a protein decolorizing treatment. So with my protein decolorizing treatment, which I'm very proud that we figured out how to make this up. I only use, it depends on how light they need to go or what you're needing to fix, first of all. So with your developer, you can use anywhere from 20 to 40 volume. Depends on what you need to do. For me, my safe haven is always a 30 volume. Because with this, I know that if I know I'm going to probably be doing more than one process with this, then I know I can use 30 and then another 30 and then another 30 with each session that I need to do. So what I'll do is I'll get my Initiate shampoo, which ZERRAN makes. This shampoo has a pH of 7.0. So we know it's designed to open up the cuticle. That's what I want to do. If we're about to do any chemical service, we talked about that, right? We want to open up the cuticle to get it prepped to feed in those proteins that we're using. So with Initiate, what I'll do is I'll add Initiate into my bowl. And I'm going to do about equal parts with Initiate shampoo and then our bleach and developer once it's mixed. So I do equal parts. So I have my Initiate and then I add in a little bit of my developer and I add in a little bit of my shampoo. And I'll do about half and half. So I have my 30 volume and then I'll add in my bleach. And then of course I'm going to add in my number 1 as well. So like I said, equal parts. It's not going to be too runny. You probably think it'll be a little bit runny, but it's not too runny. It's more bubbly than anything else, I'd say. Yeah. And then I'm going to add in my number 1 also when using it. So when you're using it with your bleach, you're going to do about a quarter amount. If you're using 2 scoops of bleach, which is a lot of bleach, if you're doing a lot of bleach, you can go up to using about a ½ ounce in your measuring cup. But I think with all of us, we like using fresh bleach, right? I like using fresh bleach. I'm not going to do 2 scoops of bleach because I know by the time I get to the top of the head, the bleach has already been sitting there for like a half an hour, and it's only got maybe 10 more minutes of processing time. So I do smaller amounts of bleach when I work. So for the amount of bleach that I have, I'm going to be doing about a quarter, which is your 3rd line right here, and I'm going to add this in. So remember, we already have that Initiate shampoo in there, so that's opening up the cuticle. Then I'm going to add in my bond number 1, my amplifier, which also has that pH between 6 and 7, so it's also opening up the cuticle. But remember, at the same time, now we're going to be feeding in those proteins also. We're going to be feeding in those proteins. We're going to be evening out the porosity as we work. If you need to add in more bleach or developer to where it gets to the consistency that you want to work with, then you can. It's all right. So we add this in, and then I'll apply it right onto the hair, and depending on where it needs to be. If they have spotty pieces, I'll just put it right on the spotty pieces. If I'm doing a whole head, I'll start maybe 2 inches away from the regrowth, and I'll pull it all the way through. I do that over the entire head. All I do is cap it. I never add heat because I find it's not even necessary. I cap it. I warm it a little bit with a blow dryer, and then I let it set. I let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, and that'll be my first session. If I get to where I need to get, then I can rinse it out, and I can follow with my number 2. If they need to be lifted more, I'll rinse it out. I'll usually add a reconstructing treatment, which you can do with your number 1 we talked about, and a tint bottle with water in between, and then I'll start the process all over again. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're adding in that protein, you're opening up that cuticle, and you're evening out your porosity while you work. And because you have that Initiate in there also, your bleach isn't going to be so harsh on the hair to where you're just constantly putting a layer of bleach and a layer of bleach and a layer of bleach. This is helping you to be able to control it more. It's going to lift fast, but you're able to control it. And because of those proteins that we're adding in to even out that porosity, if you end up getting them to the level that you want, and then say they want to be a level 8 or a level 9, you can then put that color on them and know it's not going to take it down to a level 2. Because that cuticle isn't going to be so exposed and so open to where that it's going to suck in that color. It's going to take to the color that you want to put on the hair. So when we do a color correction, that's what we do. And the best part of it is, when you're doing it, I don't work with gloves. I can use that recipe without gloves because that protein that's in there is actually buffering the bite that you get from bleach. So that's for us personally. If you're really sensitive, then you can still use gloves. But that's what I love about it, because I like working with my hands. I don't like to have to wear gloves if I don't have to. So we'll use it a lot that way. So you can use it and it's not going to bite your hands from the bleach. So that's how we'll do a color correction. We recommend 3 sessions, maybe 4 sessions per day on a client, doing it that way. And you'll be surprised how light you can get them. We've gotten clients that were a level 2, level 3 with like Pravana color, which is very, very hard to get out, to a level 8 and a level 9 in one day. We've gotten them completely blonde. I've gotten clients that were a level 5 red, a dark red, overlapping red, to a level 9 in one day by doing 2 to 3 processes with 30 volume. And they're not losing hair. That's the thing. Their hair is not snapping off because you're in control and you're able to watch to see how much it needs to get them to that level that you need to go. And you're feeding that protein in as you're working. You're feeding that protein in. And then at the end of the service, like I said, you're using your number 2. It's stopping the oxidation. So it's keeping that hair healthy as you're working. So that's just something I always like to add in. We don't have it in our directions that come in here, but just so that you know, if you're looking for something for color corrections to help to lighten somebody's hair, and you're scared of using either one of those box decolorizers, or you don't want to, you don't like how they work, try using the recipe that I just explained to you, and you'll really be impressed with it. That's all we use now. I don't use box decolorizers because it's just so much easier doing it this way and using the APS products to add it in. That's what's nice. So I'll talk to you also about the number 3. We'll talk about the model first. So is it Alicia or Alicia? Alicia, that's what I figured.
Alice.
Okay.
Alice in English.
Alice. Well, I can say Alicia though, at least. Some of them I can't even say, but Alicia. This is our lovely model, Alicia. What we're going to be showing on Alicia is we're going to be showing color, and then of course we're going to be showing gray coverage. So she has about a good inch of gray. She's about, I would say 100%. Would you say? Let me take a look, take a gander. Would you say 100%?
Yeah, not yet. She's like 80.
Salt and pepper.
She's like 80.
Salt and pepper. For classes like this, I like to either use someone who's going to get a very bright, vivid color like a red or a copper, or I like to show gray coverage. Because using these products, like I said, we all have those clients to where it's really hard to cover their gray, right? Always. You always have a couple, if not almost everybody that you have. They'll have that very coarse gray hair that's hard to cover. When you're using APS in conjunction with your colors, it's going to help to cover that hair. It's going to help your colors to take even better on the grays. So I do like to be able to show gray coverage on models for these classes so that you can see. And once again, it's not going to take it to where it's going to be a drab color. You don't need drab color to cover gray. You don't want drab color. Your clients don't want drab color. They want to have a rich, vibrant color, but they still want it to cover gray. So why can't we have the best of both worlds? With APS, you can have the best of both worlds. And they can go out with their hair feeling more amazing than when they came in, just by using the system. So for those of you that don't know, I think everybody does, but we use a color line called Mia. It's a PPD-free color line that we're using. We use the ammonia-free bleach, which we talked about, and then with our model Alicia, we're going to be using the Mia PPD-free color, we're going to be doing a 7 on her, a 7 neutral mixed with a 7 neutral cold base. The cold base for the Mia line means that it has great pigment in it to help cool it down. Most Latinos, as we all know, we always pull warm. Most Latinos, as we all know, don't want any warm. So everybody wants to be a cooler base, and so with Alicia also, she wants to have a cooler base. Not too cool, but she wants to have a cooler base. What I like showing with the neutrals in this line, also with adding the APS, is that you can have rich, vibrant colors even when you're going with just a brown series. Brown doesn't have to be just a blah brown. Brown can be a really rich, beautiful color, especially for fall and autumn, even though it's like 90 degrees outside. It is supposed to be technically getting towards fall. So this is going to be great to show for her as well. So that's what Nicole's going to be doing right now. And I'm going to talk to you about the number 3. The number 3 is something that's added in. This is not a part of the kits that we have. The kits are mainly your number 1 with your number 2, which is your bond amplifier. The number 2 is your sealer, your bond sealer for the end of the service. Number 3 is our hair redemption, which some of you I think have heard of before. This is our advanced professional services hair redemption. We talked about using number 1 as a reconstructing treatment, which you can use in between services or at the end of the service, which is great to use. What you want to send home with your client, if you can, and you can use this in the salon, is our number 3. This is also a protein treatment. This is something that they can take home and use themselves. What's special about this line, which includes the proteins that we use in number 1 and number 2 as well as number 3, is the fact that we're using hydrolyzed soy proteins. Hydrolyzed means that they're very, very small pieces. So normal protein molecules come in very big sizes. The bigger they are, the more they're just coating on top of the hair shaft, and they're sitting on top of the hair shaft. So if you or anyone else you know ever talks about over-proteinizing the hair, putting too much protein in the hair, which is possible, most times it's happening because the protein sizes are too big. So they're sitting on top of that hair shaft. So the more that you're adding on there and you're adding on, the hair does get dry, it gets brittle, and it breaks. That's the problem. What's great about this system, including the number 3, is that the proteins are so small, they're designed to go in, just like the system, and they're designed to reconstruct. So they're going to be doing this for your client even when they're at home to help keep that hair healthy, to help retain that color, and to make their hair look gorgeous the whole time that they're at home until they come back for their next service with you. So that's what this was designed to do. What's nice is that because those proteins are so small, like I said, it cannot over-proteinize the hair. So when they're using it in the shower or after the shower, it's going to go in and reconstruct and fill in those potholes where needed, but where it's not needed, it just falls down the drain. So it's not going to sit on top of that hair shaft. Because of that, your client can use this every time they shampoo their hair. So this is something that you could retail to them that they will be coming back to purchase more. It's not a once a weeker. This is something they can use every time,
Like
which is
as a
exciting.
condition.
Oh, no, but that's a good point. That was my next point. Alicia said like a conditioner. Technically, yeah, because you can use it every time you shampoo, but you have to tell your client this is not a conditioner, this is a treatment.
Oh.
Most people, including us, we're designed to feel that when you're using a protein treatment or any type of mask, you immediately get that feel-good, super slick feeling on your hair, right? That's how we're designed, that's how your clients are. That's just how we're made. That's what our industry has designed us to feel. Well, with these products, you're not gonna get that slick, coated feeling right away. Because like, what did I say it's made to do? It's made to go in and reconstruct. It's working from the inside out, rather than just coating on top. So it's important for them to know they have to use a conditioner after using this product. Once they use this, they will notice a difference. I use it every time I shampoo my hair. If I don't, I notice a difference when I blow out my hair. I do. So I use it every time I shampoo. If they want to use it and sleep on it overnight, they can. 15 minutes is all that they need. 15 minutes, they don't have to use heat, they don't have to use a cap. It's going to go in and reconstruct either way because those proteins are so small. You want to use a cap, you can. What it's doing really is it's just keeping your cuticle open and longer. That's what it's designed to do. With these products, including this one is pH balanced, so it's 4.5 to 5.5, and we're using rosewood and lavender. So it's a very calming, soothing scent for your clients that may like essential oils. It's a great smell. We try to stick with mainly essential oils rather than using fragrances with the product also. So are there any questions so far about what the products do or any of the steps, anything like that? Is it simple? Does everyone feel it's pretty simple, right?
Anita.
How many people have used it so far that are here today? I know that you have. Has anybody else used it so far that's here? You have as well? Oh, you have it. So we have quite a few newbies.
Anita, you use already.
I want to get even saturation, so I mean, I don't want to cap her.
I'll leave it to you. I'm just saying, if you need it,
Check her and see what she's processing.
That's great. I'm gonna mention that in the class. Our model with the bleach on her hair right now, she just said a good point, which I forgot to say, but I have noticed, I've had stylists actually tell me before. She was saying when she normally bleaches her hair, especially if you're using a 40 volume, because 40 volume is getting a little bit more to the harsher stages, that normally her head would be burning from the bleach that's on her hair. But she said right now her head, she can't even feel the bleach on there, which is something that's nice for me to be able to tell you, because that's also a part of the APS, is that it helps your clients, because those proteins are going to be almost act like a buffer when you're working with them. So it does help your more sensitive clients when doing a bleach service on them. For me, I mean, I could take 30 volume on my scalp for an hour and I don't have a problem, but if I switch to 40 volume, then I start feeling, my scalp starts to get sensitive, I can always tell. So that's one thing that's great also, because I'm sure everybody also has clients that have those sensitivities to it also when working with it. So there are no questions so far? Okay, so our bleach model is still processing. We're working on the color model right now. I think everybody here, I was going to talk about the Mia line as well, but does everybody already use the Mia line that's here? I think we've all been for the classes, right? For the Mia line?
Anita, that's 3 salons.
3 salons that haven't been here yet?
Mia, they use Mia.
They use Mia. Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, white collar.
I'm sorry?
With white collar.
The color?
Yeah, with white collar.
Oh, the bright colors. Yeah, that's a newer one.
That's a new one.
Did we? I don't know if we talked. Has anybody seen this one before? Have we talked about it yet?
No, yet.
Not yet? Okay. So since we have a little bit of time while our models are processing, I'll talk to you about this. For those of you especially that use the Mia line already, this is something that Nicole and I really pushed to bring in that's part of the Mia line. It's called Bright Color. How many of you remember Sebastian Cellophanes? I think everybody does. I don't know why they ever discontinued it, because it was so stinking popular. Well, the owner, for those of you that I know, mostly know, the owner of Mia Color also worked at Sebastian. He was the creative director there for about 15 years. When he moved on to Mia and wanted to make his own line, he took the concept of cellophanes with him. So they, now have discontinued cellophanes, but what he created was the Bright Color. So what we call it is like cellophanes on steroids, because he took the cellophanes idea, so he made it a temporary gloss, but then what he also did was he added papaya, white tea, and collagen to it as well to make it more of a treatment when you're using it on someone. So whether you want to use just a clear gloss on someone, or whether you want to actually do it as a color, you can use it as a filler, a toner, anything like that, you're also giving them a treatment, and it smells delightful. So for those of you that haven't seen this product, smell it, it's amazing. It's customizable, which is another thing that we like. There's 12 colors actually, and I only have a few of them, but we have anything that your client could possibly need. There's coppers, there's browns, there's blues, there's violets, there's pinks, there's reds, there's blondes. So if you have someone that's maybe 100% white that wants to put a neutral or going down to a darker color, you can use their golds as a filler. And I don't even let the filler sit and then rinse it and dry it and start with my color. I fill and then I work right on top of it, and it turns out amazing every time. So that's how I work. For clients that are your red or copper clients that want to come in and they need to get their color refreshed, you don't want to have to pull oxidative color through their ends, you can use their line for that also, to help to refresh their color without having to use an oxidative color on their ends, so their ends won't dry out or expose their cuticle any more than necessary. The colors are customizable, which is I think my favorite part. So now when your clients come in and they want a color and they're not sure what they want, or they look at your swatch book and they're like a little bit of this or a little bit of that, you can actually take these colors and mix them together and create their own color that's customizable just for them, which is what I love. Did I only bring one color bowl? I think I did, huh? So what I normally like to show is I'll get a color bowl or a piece of paper, and I'll show how you can customize each color. You always start with your clear. This is like your clear gloss. You always start with your clear, and then you can customize it. So if someone wants to be a lavender, you can take your clear and add literally 1 to 2 drops, because their colors are very pigmented, and they're very, very concentrated. You can add 1 to 2 drops of this into your clear, and you can make them the lavender shade that they want to go. So whether they want to be a dark lavender or a lighter pastel lavender, you can mix these and make them that lavender color.
In the colors, they last for a long time?
They're temporaries. If you use it with heat, you can make them semi-permanent. If you add in your APS, it's going to last even longer.
Oh, okay.
So you can remember, like I said, you add that number 1 into everything that you have. So even with these, you can make them last longer. The directions say to leave it on for about 20 minutes. If you're using it as a toner, you don't have to leave it on that long. Like I said, because if you're using it with a toner, even with your, whether it's with your violet or your blue, they have a blue also. You can use it as a toner and just leave it in and just watch it. And then you can pull it off sooner if you want to. But like, it makes an amazing treatment afterwards. You can put them under the dryer with this. Their hair smells amazing afterwards. They have this beautiful shine in their hair. Their hair feels even better. They absolutely love it. So that's what these ones are. They're the new products. They're called Bright Colors. They're almost a 10-ounce bottle. It's 9.46 ounces. And those are 22 for each one. But they're going to last you a long time. So if you're thinking that you get, you know, a color with an activator, like say, I know it's not exactly the same as, but I give the example of like Shades EQ. The activator in itself is like, how much is the activator? It's like
Almost 8 or 9.
almost 8 or 9, and then each bottle, each bottle that you have, the smaller bottles are around the same price. So 22 for this, and then you only have to use it by itself. You don't have to add an activator. You're actually saving money. So I recommend if you haven't
You can
tried
use it
these
as
yet.
a treatment under the dryer on one person and charge them $30, and you just pay for the bottle itself right there.
Yeah, or it's up to you. I know everyone's area is different, so if you even want to charge 10 or 15, you have 2 clients like that, and you just made back your money on a bottle. So it depends on your area, but I recommend looking at those.
One bottle is for how many applications around?
It depends on the hair. There's no way we can say.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because you can use, like I said, you can use it for filling, you can use it for toning. Yeah, so it depends on what you're using it for.
Okay.
And the good thing about it, if you're using it as a filler, you put it on the hair and you put the color right on top.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait for the processing time for the fill and then rinse and then put the color. You can just put the color right on top.
All right, so for the APS also, I know that's the one thing I didn't go through probably was the pricing. So these are the different sizes that we have for the APS system. And they're really designed to help you save money and to make your dollar last even longer. So with this size right here, this is just a discovery kit. The discovery kit is mainly like our sample size for you to be able to try it out. This in itself though would do about 9 to 10 heads of hair. So it actually goes quite a bit. The number 2, which is in the smaller size right here, that's probably what you'll run out of sooner because it's the conditioner. But it's a thinner conditioner, so it's not extremely thick, so it does go a long way. The Discovery Kit though is a 2-ounce size of both, and it comes of course with your instructions. And then we even add a small packet of the Hair Redemption, which is your number 3. So we add a packet of that for you to be able to have. So for the Discovery Kits, that's 15. 15 for that one. Okay, I just want to make sure our prices are the same. Okay, so then for the next size up, since that's the sample kits, here is your APS Stylist Kit. This is the next size up.
Okay.
And this,
5% off is the buy here.
oh, okay, and 5% off. But all the prices are the same, right?
Yes.
Okay. The Stylist Kit is your next size up. This is a 4-ounce size of your number 1 bond amplifier, and then an 8-ounce size of your number 2. Since, like we said, you end up using more conditioner. It comes with the same thing. It comes with your directions and also your little cap that goes with it. This is going to do about 35 heads of hair. So that's a lot, and that's $50 for 35 heads of hair. Then the next size up is your APS Salon Kit. The Salon Kit is 8-ounce sizes of 3 bottles. You have your 8-ounce number 1, and then you have 2 of your 8-ounce number 2s. So once again, we add in more of the number 2 because that's what we're probably going to use more of. And this size is $75. This is going to do about 65 heads of hair. So that's a lot of people that you're going to be able to work on for that size. Then the next size up is our back bar special, which is our back bar size. This size is 16-ounce sizes, so they're nice big bottles. Same thing, you have 1 number 1, and then you have your 2 number 2s for this one, and it's $125 for that size. And you're going to do over 110 heads of hair for that. 110 or more. It depends on honestly what you do more of, whether it's color or bleach.
Somebody asked me last week, expiration. Is there any expiration date?
There's no expiration date that I know of. I mean, I've used the same product for a very long time, and I've always found that it's always been effective. So Yeah, but that's 125, and that's the biggest size right there. That's for the back bar. So, Eric, the owner of M's Beauty, where we're able to do our education here, is actually going to be raffling off. So I hope everybody put your name in the little basket. He's going to be raffling off APS Salon Kit, which is very generous of him. So that's your 8 ounce of your number 1, and then your 2 8-ounce number 2s. That's what he's going to be raffling off today. And that's the size, like I said, it's going to do about 65 heads of hair. So you won't have to be purchasing in a while, because that's gonna take you for a long time. So that's your raffle for today, is the salon kit size. So like I said, once again, prices per application are gonna be about $1.25. So it's these prices for these kits are gonna take you a very long way. So just remember that when you're purchasing. I still feel like there it is. There was a hair bug tickling me. So these prices for these kits, they're going to take you a long way. Consider that per application, it's only going to cost you about $1.25 per person. So once again, what? So once again, whether you want to bump up your prices a little bit or not, it's up to you. But your client should know they're getting something special when you're adding this in. Remember, we can talk about for your menu, if you want to change your menu from just saying just a color process, you always want to make it sound like they're getting so much more than just that anyways. So if you want to call it a protein color enhancement, if you want to call it a protein decolorizer, it really makes them feel special, that they're getting something different, and it's going to make you stand out from everybody else as well, which is really nice. So that's something that I recommend also. So even if it's just a little bit of an upcharge, you're definitely going to make your money back very, very quickly when using it. And when you see the difference on your client's hair, you're going to notice and they're going to notice. So it makes a big difference. So we had the 40 volume on our model's hair for, what, 20 minutes, David?
Oh, I said, where's my phone? Right here. I put it for 40 and it's 13 minutes left.
Okay. So we've had the 40 volume with the bleach on our model's hair for about a half an hour. And then now we're going to be adding 30 volume with the bleach. You're overlapping it, right? Is it because of the band? So you can see right here on her hair, she has that band from previously. Someone did not leave it on long enough. So we're going to be pulling the bleach through that band so that it can even out the whole process. So we're going to be using 30 volume on that band also.
That means what you mix few minutes ago, that you say mix shampoo, and this doesn't have in that kind of the line.
No, it could. Yeah, she could do it like that too. But with our model, we know her type of hair, and we know that her hair is strong anyways. So it'd be quicker if she was just going to overlap it really quick. So just to get it done, because she's really going to leave it on for not very long, because her band is probably about a level. She's pretty gold, so it's probably about an 8, I would say. So it's not going to take very long to pull that up to where she wants to be, because you can see towards her ends, she's a 10. She likes her hair very, very light. So that's what we're going to be doing on her hair right now. Do you need you got this in yet? Yeah. Okay. So then, of course, she added her number 1 with it as well. One thing also that I always like to mention too, I don't know how many people clarify their hair before you do chemical processes. I always mention, and I did at the beginning, how I find it's really important to always clarify the hair, so you kind of start with a clean slate. And I always use our Initiate shampoo, the one that I showed with the bleach, the decolorizing recipe, to clarify before you start a service. And that's usually what I always do. A lot of times people would say, well, if I clarify it, it's too many steps, because then I have to blow dry the hair and everything else because the hair is damp. But when you're using these products, one thing that makes that number 1, that bond amplifier, special is the fact that, because like we said, it's got those color mordants and those proteins that are helping to drive your product and to help accelerate the process. It also helps to be able to break through those water bonds. So if you add your number 1 in your chemical service, you can actually work on damp hair, and the hair is going to take to that color just like it would when working on dry hair. So I always mention that in case there's anyone here that does want to try to clarify their hair first and not feel like you have to dry it all the way. So normally, a lot of times when we teach, I'll show it on damp hair so that you can see how well the color works, even on damp hair when you're using it. I teach a lot of classes at schools. I love teaching students, you know, they're eager to learn, they're new to the industry, so I like to be able to teach them. This is a model I used APS and the Mia color for last week. So you can see, I wish you were there to feel her hair. Her hair before felt like cotton candy. It was really damaged. But using the APS with the Mia color, her hair was amazing afterwards. It felt amazing, and you can see how bright that color got on her. That's one of the models. Let me see. Oh, these are good ones. We had an educator that recently went to Canada. We just opened up Canada. This is one of the models that they gave him to work on. Her hair was absolutely just thrashed. But you can see the after. That was just the reconstructing treatment using that number one bond amplifier with the water in the tint bottle. That's what he did for this model. And then he used the number 2 afterwards to give her a treatment. And look at the difference. The difference from before and after for her hair was, this is another side shot of her hair.
And
I mean,
how
to-
long it lasts for her hair like that?
It's a reconstructing treatment. So it's just going to keep, the more you use it, the more it's going to help reconstruct your hair. So it doesn't ever really go away.
Cho nên you one time with good
But boy, hopefully her stylist bought it so that she can keep doing it, because I would have sipped that a while ago if that would have been my chair. Let's see. So one that we've used for the bleach wash. Let's see. Let me find her. Here's one. Okay. I don't know if anyone has ever used Pravana color, not just their Vivids, but like their actual permanent color. You almost have to cut that stuff out of the hair. It's really, really hard to get out. So this is a model that we did that protein decolorizer on. We call them sessions when we, do it for 30 minutes and then we rinse them and do another 30 minutes. We use 30 volume. I didn't even use 40. 30 volume with our Mia bleach, with the number 1, and with our Initiate shampoo. Half and half, equal parts. I didn't put her under heat. I used a cap. I just used a cap, and we left her on. We did 3 different sessions with her that day using 30 volume. And you can see what we got her 3 times. And you can see where we got her from start to finish. No damage. You look how shiny her hair is afterwards when she left. Look at that.
That was to remove
No damage. To remove the color out of her hair.
Yeah, level 2 you remove.
She was a level, level 3?
3 or 2.
Julie?
Yeah, she was
She's like a level 3.
Okay.
And like I said, if you've ever worked with Pravana color, the permanent color, it's like really hard to get out. That's why you can see at the bottom there's still a little bit of a tint of it. So she was a work in progress, but that's where we got her in one day, and she had no damage. That's why, like I said, when you use that decolorizing recipe and added that clarifying shampoo in there, you can really take a lot more control of what you're doing, and you don't have to worry about damaging someone's hair. And we recommend doing 3 sessions.
Do
If
you
that's
have
what you need.
Do you have the formula with you?
The formula for her, it was just
with you, so you can share, in a paper.
for the decolorizing recipe. I don't have it on paper, but I should make one up, I think, because we used to actually have that on paper. This is her when she came back after a few weeks. All we did after this was we retouched her blonde, her roots, and we did a high lift. We used number 1217. For those of you that know the Mia color, it's a very strong high lift blonde. She wanted to be an icy blonde. So that's what we did.
Oh, didn't you wait for a few weeks to put the blonde?
The one,
the
no.
12, 17?
Because remember, her hair wasn't damaged. Yeah, the 1217 is this one right here. It's that one.
That's the
So for your clients that want that platinum blonde that's very popular right now, they want that gray, that silver.
Yeah.
That's what we used on her.
Today we had a special. If you buy 4 colors, for any color you chose,
with the 25 volume.
with any value, $25
I
today.
think we used 30 volume.
30?
Because she wanted to get because she wanted to get all warmth out and she wanted to write it. This is another one.
Any color you chose.
This is another one. This is one I'm proud of because I did this all by myself. That was my red model. She was always my Mia red model. So we've overlapped red on her over and over again. She's naturally about a level 7. She's naturally has a lot of red in her hair. I don't know. I would say she's like a redhead, but she's more of a strawberry blonde.
So you did also the
She wanted to
remove
be
the
a
color?
blonde, and her hair it's very thin, very fragile. So even doing color on her, I was always like, you know, I know it's gonna look nice, but I was just worried about her hair. So when she told me she wanted to go blonde, as a stylist, you know, we always want to over deliver and kind of under promise at first. So because of the way her nature, her hair was, I told her, well, you know, we'll shoot for a light copper. We'll get you to a copper for sure. I knew I could do that. I got her hair and this in 2 sessions with 30 volume. I thought it was going to take me way longer. And I'm sorry, I know the picture looks like she maybe has darkness, but it's a shadow. I should have flat ironed her hair before I took the picture. That's with no toner. That is just straight after the decolorizing recipe with 30 volume twice. So I did 2 sessions for a half an hour with the cap. And that's what it took her to. No toner afterwards.
No heat.
I even took a picture of the brush because she lost no hair.
And no heat.
No heat. I warm it up with a dryer, like with her hair. I warm it up with a dryer, and that's it. I just leave it because the body heat, your head gets so warm, it's gonna heat everything up for you. Unless their hair is really long. The hair is really long, and then I try to keep it warmer that way.
So how long you take? You take her.
3 hours total from start to finish for her because I just did 2 sessions. I did redemption in between. So that was, I left it on for about 15 minutes and then, you know, I blow out and I, you know, all that kind of stuff. So now probably lasts maybe 2.5 hours. So, but we have lots of before and afters to be able to show. I work on Latino models all the time. That's all that I work on normally. So I'm very used to,
coarse hair.
I am very used to extremely coarse hair. So to show you how well the APS helps when we talk about those models, I never knew coarse hair until I started working more with Latino models for how coarse hair can really be when you're dealing with gray hair. And I mean, it feels like straw, and you're like, it looks like the color's just bouncing off because the hair is so coarse. But it just shows how well it helps that color to really go on there. And how vibrant the hair ends up being afterwards too. Like I said, it's a rich color and it softens the hair. The hair feels amazing afterwards. So it's something that you'll be really impressed with. Especially with the number 2, the conditioner afterwards. The hair feels amazing afterwards every time. It feels amazing. So if you want to, like I said, follow that ZERRAN Hair Care, that Instagram. We also have a Facebook page. We have a ZERRAN Hair Care Facebook page. We have a new Facebook page called ZERRAN APS that also has before and afters. But for anyone that wants to look through all these, you guys can pass it around. It's all before and afters using the APS product. Did you want to do the raffle now, or did you want to do it later?
No, I want to give you the promotions a little bit. Okay, remember for the Mia color, any 4 colors, any choice you use today, any value, $25 only for today, only here. Okay. The other promotions, any APS, whatever size you want, whatever kit, 5% off only here. The other promotion is the bridge. The bridge. Where is the bridge? Any bridge, ammonia free. This bridge, $21, 5% off only today. Okay, so this is the 3 promotions I covered today here. Okay, I want to do the raffle right now. Are you ready for the raffle? She wants 4 for this
Okay, so while he's doing that, I'm going to explain to you what we're doing. Our color model is ready. So her color is processed, like we said, manufacturer's directions. So what we're going to do is we're going to rinse her out really well. Nicole's going to shampoo her hair, and then we're adding the number 2. When you add the number 2, you want to leave it on for about 10 minutes. So you want to give it time to be able to stop the oxidation and close down that cuticle. 10 minutes is all you need. Then you can rinse her out and you're done. There's no need to shampoo and condition afterward again. When I work on models, when I work on models, I actually don't even shampoo their hair. Only maybe when I'm doing a bleach, that's the only time probably I'll shampoo just because I don't want any bleach on the scalp. I just rinse extremely well and then I add my number 2. Sometimes I even blot the hair and then put the number 2 on, so I know it's really going to be soaking into the hair. I find that as long as I rinse really well, the conditioning and everything, that all the properties that are involved in the number 2, the hair will not feel tacky afterwards. It will not seem like you did not shampoo your hair. So you have either option though. We actually, you'll notice on the instructions, that's one thing that we didn't put, is we didn't put whether or not you needed to shampoo, because some people you always feel like you need to shampoo. I don't. I feel like, especially when you're working with vivid colors, I don't want to shampoo and already start helping those color molecules leave the hair shaft when you're immediately putting them in. So that's why when I just like to rinse really well and then add your number 2. That's just what I do. So it's up to you. And I always use cold water. Or at least lukewarm. However cold that they can take it, that's usually what I do as well. So that's what we're going to be doing right now, and she's going to leave her for about 10 minutes.
And then you don't shampoo at all.
I'm sorry?
After the color, you don't shampoo at all. After you put number 2.
I don't, but if you want to shampoo, you
We
can.
can do it
But
wrong
the hair has
now.
to be clean before you put the color in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah, go ahead. We're going to do raffle now.
Okay.
Is my mouth open when you're taking the Probably everyone else.
According to Eric, you know what is the price?
What is the price? For what?
For the price.
Oh, what the price that they're saving?
Yes.
Okay, so like I said, you're gonna get a APS Salon kit with this. Plus, you're actually gonna get a number 3 as well, which is the hair redemption that we talked about for the take-home treatment. The price, I don't even know the price for the number 3, the new pricing for the number 3.
Here,
New
here.
pricing.
Don't worry.
Number 3. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so this is $12.50, and then also your salon kit, which is $75. And this, like I said, is gonna take you about 65 heads of hair. So I'm gonna do the raffle. Irma Alvarez. Yay, Irma.
Fantasia.
So you're gonna get the salon kit. That's right there in front.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay. So you can start when you're done, then I'll take her and I'll rinse her and you can blow dry. Yeah. For those of you that haven't actually seen the number 2 before, I know some people that actually put it in a spray bottle and spray it on the hair if you want to, because it's thin enough to where you can. But it's up to you. But like I said, it's a thinner conditioner, which I like. So it's something that you don't have to worry about it being coating on the hair or too thick for certain types of hair. It's very thinning. It's an amazing detangler, just so you know also. That's why I said when I'm done with it, I don't really need anything else. It's really silky, very conditioning.
And I have a question.
Yeah.
You know, I have a customer, younger, big hair, and then I do very, very heavy ombre first and later ombre again. And now she wants to grow the whole hair. You know, then bleach again. You know, the fact I did bleaches, can I give you the bleach we have today?
Yeah, so you're saying that she wants to be blonde, so you're going to be taking bleach and putting all over. Are you going over?
The root is dark.
Okay, so the root. So are you just doing a root, or you're doing, if she has ombre, is it far enough down to where you have all this to cover too?
Oh, later on I have to do because the ombre is still like level 7, 8. Now we go up to very 9.
Thank you.
Okay. Does she have, you put a box color and then the ombre at the bottom?
I use a welder.
Oh, bye. Thank you for coming. And then you're using bleach at the bottom for ombre?
Yes, very much.
If you're using color, it's up to you. You can put bleach by itself with the APS to help lift her. If she wants to be blonde, you could also, like I said, you could do it with the decolorizer, the protein decolorizer recipe, which is doing the clarifying shampoo with your developer and your bleach and your number one. You can do it that way also.
Yeah, because if I want the even color, then I have to put a little bit this, now the color.
Yeah.
Are we okay or can I be breaking?
Well, it depends on your client. It depends on what you're working on. If her hair is already in good condition, you shouldn't have to overlap the bleach. But if she's at a level 7 and you need her to be at a level 9 or level 10, you can go with a lower level of developer on your bleach to help keep it in good condition while you lift it and just watch it. She probably won't need to be somebody who needs to be left on for 40 minutes, you know what I mean? If she's already a level 7, you're only lifting 2 levels to 3 levels. So I would just use a lower level developer. But yeah, make sure you always have the APS in there also helping you out.
With
your
the
client.
toner will be okay, huh? Toner or one that
With
the lighter color over it?
It would depend on your client. No, if she's it would depend because if you're at a level 7, you're gonna need something more than a high lift. High lifts are normally for super high lifts. You can be from a level 7 and above, but if she wants to be like a blonde, then you'll probably end up using some bleach first and then a high lift on her.
You don't need to lay down, just wait until she's ready. So your neck's not dying.
All right, so we're gonna be. She's ready. Okay. So Nicole's going to be blowing out our model so that you can see how well the color takes. And all of her gray is miraculously gone. How pretty it looks.
Very ashy.
Very ashy.
There you go.
Very pretty.
See how cool it came up?
No worries, I don't need it up.
I would definitely do number 3 on her though too. She hasn't done protein in a while.
So what I'm going to do for our bleach model, since we overlap, so remember we use 40 volume and 30 volume on her. So this would be a good one for you guys to be able to see, to get rid of that really dark gold band that she had. So I'm going to rinse her out. With her, I am going to shampoo because she has bleach, so I want to get that off of her hair so it's not an irritant to her scalp. And then I'm going to be putting Redemption on, the number 3, before we do the number 2. Because we just use so much bleach on her hair. Everyone needs protein. Even if you have virgin hair, you still need protein. For her, because she's a blonde, we definitely want to put some protein in there, continued protein. So I'm going to put on a number 3 for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put the number 2 on her. Okay, so just push back from the chair. I'm gonna go over it. There you go. I'm gonna have to scoop it back down. I know. You want to tell them what you're using?
No? I just sprayed, when I finished with her, I put a little bit of our Equalizer leave-in conditioner. It's the best leave-in conditioner you'll ever use. As for us as stylists, if we cut with it in the hair, it'll help to keep your shears sharp. And then you can use it at the back bar and rinse it, or you can use it as a leave-in. It's also a really great conditioner for extension work. And then I just sprayed in some of our Explosion blowout spray. This will help to combat frizzies, it extend the life of a blow dry, and it will cut the drying and styling time. For the Explosion, for the 4 ounce, Eduardo, do you know how much the 4 ounce? I always sell it in bulk, so. Eduardo,
Yes.
do you know how much the 4 ounce Explosion is by itself?
I can find it for you.
It's on special right now. If you buy two,
Explosion, correct?
oh yeah, buy the 8 ounce, you get the 2 ounce for free. But this is the 4 ounce, so I'm not sure.
You say explosion, correct?
Explosion, yeah. Which way do you part your hair? This way? It's $15 for that special.
espacio en la parte de este lado, de acá. ¿Cómo le para acá?
What happened? The
The
crack?
parking. Somebody parking on the other side.
Yeah.
Because this guy has complained. They can move the car.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Maybe my car. I park in the back of the.
Here you can move right now. We have
Oh, okay.
And I'm so sorry to bother you.
They move right here or what?
Es para hacer más rápido.
Do you want the crystal bright color? Huh? Do you want the crystal bright color to go on there? She's like how my hair used to be, where it's like that yellow, like Gwen Stefani hair, and then it goes to that wheat. Do you think that clear? I mean, that crystal is not the clear, the crystal. No, the crystal. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be enough. It will be enough. So you do move this high lip, but at least it's something to see. What time is it? Sabina, what time do you have to go?
Then I can look at you. So, let me see that.
Yeah, it's 11, it's almost 12. But she needs to, let's put something. Well, let's see, I need to get her up. I wonder if I put it over the redemption for the beauty thing, since she's sitting there in this. What? If I put it over the redemption for the beauty thing, since she's sitting there with the redemption on anyways. That's it, and then just have to color and put it at the wall. Oh, redemption's on. So what you do the color before you put it on, see that, and then right before you're gonna put it on this redemption.
Yes, sir. Suburban.
Huh?
Suburban. ¿Sabes Suburban?
Rinse the redemption for the crystal and then we'll see. Because that's the fastest solution.
Yeah.
Seven now.
Violet in it.
I put 7C, which is the cold base, with the 7N. With the 7 special base. The brush is too big, so I'm trying to use the heat to make it curl.
So for our model, I'll tone her out, just so you guys know, I'm using the bright color crystal. The crystal has a violet tone. It says crystal, but it's actually got a violet tone. So I'm gonna use it as a toner.
bonito. Alicia. Mira bien este brillosito.
That's loud.
They look pretty. Cái đầu nó là vô rồi.
And then I'm just going to use some of the Defy molding paste to give her some texture and movement. That's it.
Okay. What did you put?
For this one, it depends on what you want it to do. We can leave it on for 20 minutes. For her, because we're toning, we can all leave it on less. It just depends on what it can take it to.
¿Se puede participar porque hablan los procesos, pero ahí sí se pueden parquear y después tú hablas con ningún problema. Solamente ahí no se dice la... Te quedó con mucho sabor, ¿eh? Cambió el color. 100% overgrade.
80. No tanto, es 80. Es el servicio que ya está haciendo. No, tiene que ser blanco, pero se le pone blanco ya.
A ver,
Y le hago rayitos más rayitos oscuros.
es por Anita 8.
White.
Oh, sí.
Yeah, that matches. It was a match of course.
Tiene que seguir usando uno.
Embarrassing when you go walk around
And that's the temperature. Yeah, it's a temperature.
We're trying to do the fastest solution for you guys.
Yeah.
Typically we like to use a certain color for the color, but because you guys have to do a quick one. Quick way.
¿Te gusta el color?
El color, me quedó rico también. Y no le picó, ¿verdad? Sí pica, pero no igual que los otros. Sí,
Yeah, well.
Is that where you,
I don't know. I
You can share there. Kubina and then I do a lot of salon work when I teach classes and stuff.
You use this one, right?
I use this one.
This one is
with
the one
this
that I
one.
showed.
I did equal parts.
What do you think, Lisa? You like it?
Y
You like it? Yes. Yeah? Yes.
7-0 y 7-0.
Es el cold.
Es el cold este. Yo le dije que me pusiera estos dos. Uno de estos dos que dijeron. Usar un mezcla mitad y mitad.
Someone's here and it came out so good today. She's like, did you take a picture?
Kim, I sent you like 5
Thank you.
Yeah, you have easy. I'm doing it now, don't forget.
Thank you. I know, huh? Yeah.
Because I apply bleach.
Oh, you apply this?
Yes.
Oh, oh, very nice. Yeah, cover very good too.
Tienes una mancha.
Yeah.
But I choose this one and this one. I choose these two. This one and this one. A 7. A 7. This one.
Yeah, this ash. Ash cold, this and
Natural.
neutral to cover gray and then the ash together equal. Cut out the red
Yeah. It's always hit miss, you never know. It's working.
Yeah, because the neutral but
Yeah, I like this product.
Between the developer, the color, the bleach, that's why I'll use 40 volume. I don't even think twice because I know it's the color and the developer are very conditioned for the hair. Oh, to blend it. Well, we're going to use a high lift toner. I was actually going to use this one. I used it before and it matches the color of the hair. This one, 1151, it has gold ants in it, but they have the leaf. So instead, what we did to tone it kind of quickly, to kind of tone it down, is we used the crystal bright color. The crystal bright color has a little bit of violet in it. So it's kind of cut a little bit of the yellow
I'm gonna try it
out.
and see what
Because she's been
this down here. There's someone else in her hair.
Leave it on, I think only for maybe about 15 minutes at most. The directions normally say leave it on about 20 minutes. So we can only leave it about 15. But it'll be enough to blend it, blend it out. Which would be nice. It's like a minute. You put it on and you just watch it. It takes really quick. So you do it really good.
This is something you just have to be so careful with.
It's a great color line now. I'm just interested in description or anything like that. It's a great color line. It's not that expensive. Like I said, it's a big tube for what you get. The color is phenomenal. The results are amazing. We both have been color educators for 3 other lines besides this one. And once they bring this line on, I told the owner, this one is surpassing the other one. And it's simple, and that's why I like it. The formulate is very simple. They have a number, they go by numbers with hers, but they have the colors in the to tell you what the color is. But as long as you can see what their numbers are, you're set. The first number is your color tone to your level. Then after this point, that's your color tone. So a 4 stands for copper, a 6 stands for red, a 0 is neutral. That's all you have to know mainly. But that's it. So, but it's very simple and it's very to the point, and that's why I like it. They have colors that are pre-formulated. So a 3, 4, a 3 is the gold, a 4 is the copper. So you get 2 different numbers. Your first number is 70% of excellence, and then 30% of excellence. So if you want to be more gold than copper, it's what you need. If you have someone who wants to be a pure blonde, this is the number 1 is an ash. Then you have your gold ash. So you have more gold than ash. So those are already formulated. So instead of yes, 70% of that first number, and then 30% of the second one. And then you switch it. So then if you have someone that works on ash and gold, the other one. But I like it because it's already pre-formulated. So instead of having to mix together 3 or 4 colors, you get to a color tone that they want.
Like here, how it's like.
I really never have to actually mix it together. So they're always nice. And I like that about them. I like
to put
being
another
very
color
formulated.
on her or no? the band is still there a little bit.
It blends pretty good.
It blends good, but it just,
You don't remove the orange line.
I guess we just give you the color.
So we cutting it close.
Yeah, it's gonna be another 40 minutes or so.
Siempre
Okay.
el más fino color.
As long as it's not like the open.
Oh,
No,
no,
it
you
blends
see-
really well though.
Yeah.
Good
It's just really light, yeah.
When you dry, you blend it.
Considering the time that we had.
Yeah.
The root is good, but the
You don't have the Amazon
Como
oil?
el de ella, ¿no?
Yeah, I do.
Yo creo que ella
It's like almost like a platinum.
Yeah.
Good white, yeah.
Yeah, when you
For the time that we had,
what's better? Este igual.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. I already have mine. You could have done the 3-1.
Nicole, do
Oh, yeah, mine's my shut. I do have it.
What? I know.
Yeah.
Isn't it pretty though? It's like outer like white. Here, oh no. Let me get one from Eric. I don't have one with me. Oh, is there any here? No. Let me get one from Eric. Get one from Eric. I'll get you my ergo brush. It's in the car.
Oh, yeah. It's all over. It's a picture, yeah.
el último modelo para que me entiendas. Cuando puedas, si puedes comprar eso. Es increíble para que 20 veces más rápido se haga. Está $10 de $10 de 4, no. I'm sorry, Nicole. Some of the unforgot, maybe they tried 4 ounce.
That one is 4 ounce, is 10, and then the 8 ounce is 15.
$10. $10, 5% off, correct? $10, 5%
What do you
off.
normally market your hair?
Okay,
Wait, it is now?
Either way.
$10.
This one is trash. Yeah, I know, huh? No, it's worth the show because I mean you can see how light you can get somebody like that. You didn't have any light off. I mean look how good her hair looks. I mean look what afterwards. But you can see how her hair looks like it doesn't look like it's really compra. I mean, it depends on what you're looking at, but I encourage more for a bleach picture than a root picture. I mean, a color picture. You know what I mean? It's so different. There's a lot more involved than just putting some color on your hair and having a process for it. So that's why I think
Antes cuando está mojado se ve más oscuro,
right here. Oh, okay.
So I'll start in the front.
If anybody's want to feel her hair so you can see how good it feels,
free. It feels amazing. She doesn't want sitting here.
Oh, I know.
For what?
So look, there's no hair in the brush.
I was just gonna point that out. There's no hair in the brush.
But it's not like a hair. No, yeah, we'll show you the other side and be like, oh, yeah. Wow.
It's so shiny on this side.
Kim,
Oh my gosh, I
did you
love it.
apply the bright color with the peroxide?
Yeah, we did, we did the crystal.
But with the peroxide?
No, you use this by itself. You just squirt it on. Yeah, you just squirt it
Small
on.
amount.
No, for her, I was like squirting it on because I wanted to get all that root area. She had, I mean, we did like 4 inches. She had a lot from the old band and then for the new girl. So yeah, I just used that on her root girl. Squirt it all over.
Instead of common.
Instead of the mainly because they had to leave, so we didn't have the time to be able to put on more of the high lifts in the summer. So we thought, well, we'll try this one and sit to even it out, and it did a really good job. We had it on there for maybe 15 minutes. It evened it out really nice. I was originally going to put the 1131, which is a gold ash, in her hair, the bottom of it. It has a like wheat, like a wheat. Yeah, it's really like that. And so that's the, yeah. So the 3-1 to me, that's very much what do you apply it in all over here or just I ended up doing it all over the hair only because I couldn't get it just on me.
Give me the flat iron, please, out of the basket.
Este color me gusta. 12-17.
And she's Mexican, everybody. You can see how blonde we got her. I don't want anyone saying you can't get them blonde anymore.
Yeah, her is dark. It's like mine. Sure is. With no breakage.
No more Mexican. No more.
It's making me envious to go back to straight blonde again. Do it. I know, I was like that for so long and then I just thought, oh, I need a change. So I changed it. Now I'm like, oh. But just the funny days, I miss it.
Yeah. Your hair looks good how you have it too.
Me? Oh, thanks. Just need a rough brush in the back, huh?
That's like they're plugging the flat iron. Flat iron it.
Yeah, you have great hair. Thank you.
And it doesn't feel gummy at the back part.
Is it? Yeah.
I mean, Lumi could have been using our product to choose the babies, but still, I do her hair, or when the blow dry her hair.
Le digo que es un pinche de este.
Después,
Después, estos pinches son Ferrari. Sí.
Kim, hand me a flat iron brush, please.
Oh, Kim is over there. Kim.
Kim. Hand me a flat iron brush, please.
Flat iron brush.
You know, like a thick brush. Something I don't have to use my hands.
Yeah, you got that. Like a white shoes cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the toner do you use on her with the Cleveland or
We just use the crystal. Yeah, we use the crystal and it has like a violet tone in it. You don't have to add it with an activator, you just squirt it right on the hair. I'll lift it up.
That's nice about it because you don't use
No, no Velvet. So yeah, it blended really nice.
but we have to use a little like from here, okay?
No, you don't use the developer. You don't mix it with anything, you just squirt it directly onto the hair.
Hay mucha diferencia de comprar uno.
Sí, pero nomás queríamos probar que
Es muy bueno. Haz de cuenta que estás hablando de un no, estás hablando de un Ferrari y un Mustang.
Ajá, nosotros usamos uno del Pro. Es parecido a ese. Pero yo te recomiendo los redondos para
Y eso va a salir aquí. Dura
pero eso es como para
años y años y años.
no sé, sí, este es para highs y acá dice finger brush.
Es igual que este, nomás que este tiene cerdas.
Ese está más duro, este es así nomás, como para desenredar el pelo.
Yeah, but mine, you get that at 240.
Pero y este es para secar el pelo.
Oh, different. Yeah, because I live in Apple Valley. Oh, you're in Apple. Okay, which district has a kids in the same? Joe, that's a different one. Yeah. There's so many of you. There's 5 of us.
And the youngest is a boy.
Yeah.
Pero
We were all out of school when, yeah.
y ya sabes que yo hago muchos yo hago muchos pelos.
No, but I prefer I should not rather. ¿Qué tamaño?
You know what? I think my younger brother, I think he was in ninth grade, I think, when my mom got pregnant with our youngest.
But si you got
I'm gonna take a picture of
queda más con brillo.
What do you guys think?
Very nice, huh?
Yeah, pretty well.
If you want, if any, has anyone come up to feel it? I don't know if you have or not. It feels great.
No hair loss, nothing. Nice and strong, nice and soft. And they have to leave, so we have to hurry up.
So how long do you sleep?
For a toner, it's only a temporary to semi-permanent. So if you put it with a cap of heat, like for 20 minutes, it'll be more like a semi-permanent toner. So it's going to end up fading. It will fade, but like a, you know, the toner will. Semi-permanent.
Oh, after the fading, and then is it gonna bring up the gold more, or is
No, it should be fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a picture.
So if you guys